In the wake of the coronavirus outbreak, schools all across the nation have shut down. We know this, but now the challenge is providing an education to students remotely.
And for members of New York City's Department of Education, it means finding a way to teach over 1 million students who are now at home. So joining us via Skype is the man in charge of it all, the country's largest school system, New York City Schools Chancellor Richard Carranza. Thank you for joining us, Chancellor.
Good morning, Betty. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
Well, I got to ask you first and foremost, how ready are you and your team to launch this so that students can learn remotely? Because this is the largest school system in the nation to do something like this.
Well, I'll tell you, our attitude is never waste a crisis to really transform stuff. So we are excited about launching into this new way of learning. I have to tell you, as I've gone around the city, there are schools and teachers and communities that are already doing this kind of work, and we're leveraging their knowledge base. And then there's some of our colleagues that have never, even put a toe into this water.
Right.
So we are ready. We've had 3 days of professional development. We have a whole suite of curriculum and materials and support. We've got coaches ready to help teachers, and we're ready.
So let me ask you this.
I will say. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me ask you this, because I know you've been hard at work this week training those teachers for this. But what about the students from low-income families, right? They don't have high-speed internet, they don't have tablets, they don't have laptops. How are you reaching out to them? How many students, number-wise, do you see are facing these kind of challenges of not having the ability to e-learn?
So really good point. So what we've done is we're paying particular attention to that particular aspect of going to remote learning. We have an idea that it's about 300,000 students that may not have either a device or internet connectivity. We're actually doing a survey right now where we're asking our principals to give us data. The good news is that schools have laptop cards, they have laptops, and they have iPads. They're actually assigning their own inventory to the students that have the greatest need. We also are on track to buy about 300,000 devices. The first 25,000 of those devices will be here on Monday morning. We have schools that have set up ways to distribute those devices. We're prioritizing students that are in poverty, students that are homeless, students with shelters.
So for 275,000 students,
get those devices into the hands of students.
For 275,000 students who do not have those laptops that you are working to get, are you worried at all that they will fall behind in these lessons plans, because there's no timeline really of when you're going to get all of them? You're only saying there's a certain number you'll get on Monday. So what about those kids who will miss some of these lessons?
We also have paper lessons that students can come in. Actually, they've set up a whole distribution way of doing it at every school site. So parents will be able to have paper and pencil type activities as well. There are a number of community-based organizations that are opening their doors to students and families as well. Of course, practicing social distancing in those locations. On Monday, we're going to be opening up some regional enrichment centers where we'll have opportunities for some of these kids as well to come in, and we'll have laptops and devices. So again, to turn a system as large as ours, 1 million students on a dime, to a whole new way of teaching and learning it's not something that we go pick on the first day, but right. I'm really confident our teachers and principals that we're prepared to give it a good shot.
It's a daunting challenge, no doubt, and we don't know how long this will last, right? Because we don't know how long this crisis will continue, so you have to be prepared for the long run, if you will. What is it going to mean for GPAs, right? Because a lot of students are trying to get into colleges. They're trying to keep those GPAs up. They're trying to graduate. So how does this affect that?
So obviously, we're working very closely with our institutions of higher learning. We're working with the state education department, with the regents, with the legislature. There is a particular focus on this year's senior class, 12th graders, and making sure that they've got everything they need to still continue to earn their diploma. The good news is that there's some really good third-party curriculum out there. There's classes. We're partnering with everybody, so students should be able to get what they need to be able to continue to learn. We've said that we're going to be back right after spring break in April. Given the circumstances and how those circumstances develop, that may be extended. Right. So we're prepared for the worst case scenario, and we're also prepared for the announced return date as well. But again, we want to make sure that all students have what they need, especially our seniors that are on track to graduate.
Two-pronged question here. Number one being, how are you going to actually track attendance, that students are going to be logging on and taking their classes? And you know, the good thing about teacher-student relationships is if a student is struggling, they can always just walk into that teacher's classroom and ask for extra help or ask for extra credit. How will teachers be able to reach out to those students in these times?
Great question, Dan. So you just answered one of the questions in terms of attendance. You know, when students log in, teachers will have a record of that. That's attendance. They're engaged. I think what's important is that everyone has to understand that these are not normal classroom conditions.
Right.
It's not a 6.5-hour workday for teachers. It's not, you know, first period, second period, third period. There's going to be a lot of flexibility. Teachers and students are going to be working that out over the course of the next week, and students are going to come and go as you know, their family circumstances dictate. We know that some of our students, especially our older students, are going to be taking care of their younger siblings, maybe even relatives while parents are off at work. So the word for us to keep in mind is flexibility. You have to be flexible and give people what they need in order to be able to kind of get through this whole time period.
But with that flexibility, and I'm hearing this from a lot of parents as well, how do you monitor cheating? Because there is the opportunity, right, that maybe a parent can log on and take a test for a student.
Yeah, you know, look, I'm gonna have faith in our parents and our students that they're gonna do the work that they need to do. We're working through the policies on like how these grades work. I know some school districts that have said all of the online learning is optional. You don't have to do it. It's just to keep you engaged. We're not in that place, but I'm gonna have faith in our community. This is a crisis, and I want to make sure that our community knows that we're providing everything we can to make sure kids are fed, that kids have a high quality engaging curriculum, and that our educators have the support that they need to be able to continue to engage students for whatever the time period is.
Chancellor, I know it's been a daunting task, right? And I see that I'm getting the Notify NYC alerts, and I got another one this morning saying the grab-and-go lunches are available, 20,000 lunches given out. But I'm also monitoring Twitter and the questions from parents who are now in real time asking you, what is a very specific timeline, if you can give them, that their students will be given a laptop or a tablet? How far do you expect it to go? Weeks before everybody gets one?
Well, we really don't know. You know, right now, getting anything delivered is Herculean because there are medical supplies, there are all kinds of things that are coming in. The critical piece of information for parents is to stay in touch with your school, with your principal, with your teachers. You'll be able to do that. Call 311. You can also contact us on our website. But it's going to be critical to stay in contact with your school because the school will have the most up-to-date information. And again, just remember, schools already have devices that they use in school that they're going to be redeploying and allowing students to take home as well. So stay in touch with your school.
Yeah.
Certainly. Hey, I got to give you, I know you're doing everything and you can for these students and teachers. My parents are both teachers. It is no easy task to train, no offense, mom and dad, people of a certain age to use technology and get it up and running inside their own home. So I know this is a struggle.
Are you talking about the Chancellor in particular?
No, I'm talking about my own mother and father. But we appreciate your time and we will be checking with you. Keep us posted. A lot of parents concerned about a lot of these issues. So thank you for taking the time.
Yes,
Please
it's a daunting task.
Look forward to it.
Well, we appreciate you joining us today and spending some time with us because I know you got a lot on your hands, Chancellor. Thank you.